Welcome to I Am One. I am Domina, the waitress of this house, and I'm glad that you are here. I am continuing um, my participation in the 13 Nights of Samhain, and today's recording is for October 23rd, and the prompt was what spirits do you work with during Samhain, and how do you connect with them? Um, I plan to work with my maternal grandfather. And I'll tell you why. I don't remember him. As in, when I was growing up and we would go to my grandmother's house every summer or anytime we went down there, he was not there. My grandparents divorced, and I can't remember. I saw the divorce decree when it was finalized, but I don't remember the year. So I think it was after I was born. And I remember going down there. My family's from Georgia. So I remember going down there when we were little kids, and there was a Studebaker in the yard, and I believe that was his car. And I remember we would love to play in that car and pretend like we were grown-ups and driving. But I don't have any memory of playing with him, interacting with him. And like I said, they divorced, so I don't know if he was already gone by the time I have memories of being down there as a younger child, or if they were still together at that point, he wasn't at the house when I was there. And so, even though I have him on my altar, I have him there out of respect for the mere fact that he's my mother's father. I don't have any memories of him, and certainly no bad memories. I have never heard my mother speak ill of him. And so I don't have any connection one way or the other than I know that his blood runs through my veins because of my mother. And so I was close to my mother's mother. Like I said, we would go down there every summer, and she was the head of the house. I never saw him there in the house. So she ran it all. She was at my wedding. She even stayed with us a weekend after we were married when one of my uncles passed away, and um, she wasn't in a state where she could travel for the funeral. And at that point, she had had several strokes, and she was no longer verbal. And I think my family wanted to keep her away from those emotions. So I don't even know that she realized that he had passed away. At least my mother never told me that she told her. So she stayed with us for a weekend, and it was lovely. So I have fond memories of her. I have fond memories of my father's father because we called him Big Daddy, and he was our Big Daddy. I have more memories of my father's mother than I do my mother's father because even though I wasn't all that close to her, I knew who she was. She knew who I was. She was at our wedding. So she was in our life, just not on a consistent basis. And again, I don't have any ill feelings, or I never had a bad relationship with her. But my grandfather on my mother's side is a mystery. And again, like I said, I have him on my altar. Um, but I don't have any kind of connection with him personally because I don't remember him. I was there for his funeral when he passed, so I got to see him in his older age, but I have no interaction with him growing up. And so I did a quick um, pendulum um, reading with him just briefly and asked him, would he be willing to have just a connection, he and I? When I do ancestor work, I reach out to them in a general form because I know that I'm part of their bloodline. So there are certain workings that I have done where I specifically called on my mother, or I specifically called on either of my grandmothers, but I've never done a working where I specifically called on him. His name was Euless Spencer, and my mom and all my cousins and aunts and uncles used to call him Billy Boy. I don't know what Billy Boy meant. I don't know why they called him that, but that was his name. And so when I talk about him or refer to him, I call him what everybody else called him, Billy Boy. It wasn't until he died that I really knew his name was Euless. And so I asked briefly if, this coming Halloween, Samhain, if he would be willing to connect with me. He said yes. And then I asked, would he be okay with me broadcasting this to you? And he was okay with that. So there is something that we're starting. And I think it's because I respected him enough, even though I have no memory and no known relationship that I can recall, that he's willing to reach out, or is okay with me reaching out with him and doing some more one-on-one. I've done it with my father's mother, and it was beautiful. And so I'm hoping that while they're not the same person, that I can get some answers from him, and learn a little bit more about him from him, and see, what kind of manners he had that maybe I have. There are some things about my other grandparents that, like my mother's mother, she was big on gardening, and I'm a gardener. So I know that has, or I have tapped into that. I don't know that it has been passed to me, but I tapped into it and found that is a gift, talent, whatever, a fun skill that I have that I can connect with her and my mother on. My grandmother, like I said, we didn't have a close relationship, but I knew her well enough that she was my grandmother. And I know that she loved me and I loved her. Found out that she has a sweet tooth. So when her birthday passed, I made a cake for her in her honor and put a slice on the altar. So it was little things like that I have, that I don't have any of that on him. I have a picture of him, and it shows that he has like a glass of whiskey or bourbon. He had some kind of adult beverage in his hand. And so I've put that on the altar, in remembrance of him, but I really haven't had that one-on-one opportunity to just say, hey, GP, what's up? Can we have a moment? So I'm looking forward to that. If I have any updates that he's okay with me sharing, I will share that in the future. But that is my plan, that I will reach out to him. I use the tarot when I do my breakfast with my ancestors. So I'll probably use my tarot, one of my Hoodoo tarot deck. Do I have that here? Let's see. I do. So I'll probably use my Hoodoo tarot deck, but I'll also use my pendulum. I really like using that with them, because obviously it's just yes and no questions. And so I'm just going to get a straight answer, yes or no. The chart that it has a maybe or a rephrase, and they have done that to me once and again. So I will probably use at least those two mediums to reach out to him, have a one-on-one with him that I didn't get to have on this side of the veil. So that is my plan going forward. Reaching out to my grandfather, Euless Spencer, aka Billy Boy. So thank you for watching. I'm going to keep it rolling. So I'll see you on the next video. Peace and blessings to you all.